Welcome to the beach and the new season. ATV Motocross blast off at the world center of racing. And it's going to be tight, twisting, and dramatic. A packed house is ready. The riders are ready. So it's time to go racing at Daytona. Welcome to the 2024 season for the ATV National Motocross Championship and what has become the traditional spot for the season opener in conjunction with the Ricky Carmichael Amateur Supercross at Daytona and the vintage days for dirt bikes here. We run the opening round of the ATV Nationals. That means hitting the hangout in the sunshine of Florida in early March and using the NASCAR garages for the pits, all part of the week-long celebration called Daytona Bike Week. But we focus on the four-wheel set today, and everyone focuses on trying to dethrone Joel Hetrick, who dominated last year. And we will start the 23 rundown right here at Daytona, where Hetrick won. That's big because he's normally luckless here. But then the luck did turn upside down at Gatorback, opening the door for Bryce Ford to win an overall for the first time in his career. Underground MX in Texas. Hetrick went 1-1, trying to claw some points back after the crash at Gatorback. 1-1 again at High Point in Pennsylvania. Chad Wienen and Jeffrey Rastrelli there with him on the podium, and Hetrick was just rolling from there. Another win at Ironman Raceway, and then Sunset Ridge in Illinois. It's the home race for Wienen, but Hetrick wins it again. And it was good to see Budds Creek back on the schedule, and guess what? The number one goes 1-1. Gotta wonder what might have been with Daytona getting away from him. Then in the driving rain and mud at Pennsylvania, the win streak ends. Bryce Ford gets another overall victory, this time at Pleasure Valley. Then Briarcliff in Ohio, Hetrick back with a 1-1 and takes the title for the fourth time in his career. It's the first time he's won the title consecutively. And the season rounds out, as it always does, with dirt days at Loretta Lynn Ranch. But Hetrick had competition from an old friend this time. He wins the title, only second in the race, though, with Chad Wienen taking the victory. And now we fast forward back to 2024. Here's the champ.
What's up, guys? Joel Hetrick here. Just got to Daytona. I've been at Decker Training Facility since early January, riding there. Me and Zach putting in the laps and been training hard with On the Box. Just been doing everything I can all winter long to be the best I can be for this race. Daytona is always unique here. The track's always a surprise for us. I know they had some rain, so I don't really know how it's going to pan out right now, but I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to go racing, and I feel really good.
Well, he's going indeed to, because the field this year certainly is focused on taking him down and trying to prevent a fifth straight title. Perhaps most focused on it is the veteran Chad Wienen. If he wins the title, he will take the all-time record for most ever. Takes it from my hero, Gary Denton. It's a tall order, but he's certainly capable. You can see Hetrick on the number one, throwing down. It's all qualifying laps here. Who will step up this year? Bryce Ford on the number 4, certainly a candidate to go out there and get wins and contend for the crown. And his brother Cody throws down as well. This is Zach Decker. You heard Hetrick say he's been riding at his place. Wesley Wolf there right behind the 741. He could be a player for the podium as well. Good to see Jeffrey Rastrelli back in action. Tough rider, now considered a veteran out of Florida. There's Nick Janusa on the number 15 out of New Jersey. Max Lindquist on his familiar number 2. Kevin Saar rolling through on the 31, and Aaron Salinas on the 7. Then a slew of new talent, starting with Mason Jackson, a champion from the Pro-Am division. You got Joseph Chambers here, racing pro for the first full season this year. Adam Ulrich, one of the new young riders in the class, as well as Blair Miller. and Agostino Abatiello. Hetrick has the fast qualifying time over Ford and Brandon Hogue as we get ready to race. Well, it's great to see one of the best ever at this form of racing, Chad Wienen, back for 2024. Let's chat with him about Daytona.
You got to be very kind of choosy which lines you want to take, and it's gonna play a factor in that main event. You know, if you stick to one line too long, you're gonna start losing time, and you know you got to make some good decisions out there. And the lappers are gonna be tough. We're probably gonna be doing upwards like 20 laps, so it's gonna be a lot of laps. But you know, I'm looking forward to it. I'm in it for every single one, and gonna hopefully have a good start and have a good time.
You heard Chad mention the word main event. We'll have heat races to qualify for that next. Welcome back into ATV Motocross from Daytona, brought to you by Kenda Tires, Rocky Mountain ATV MC, and by RP Race Performance. Chad Wienen, Jeffrey Rastrelli, Bryce Ford, riders taking their spots on the gate for the first heat race of Daytona ATV Supercross 2024. Brandon Hogue, breakthrough the last couple of seasons. He is a contender to win races, and he's showing this year no different with an early hole shot. I think that's Wienen up to second behind him. But look at Ford battling. Split line here. Can he take second place away? He does. So Bryce Ford up to second. And folks that have been watching these shows through the years, this is the type of action we've been teasing and I've been talking about for a while. Wienen, an established star. The likes of Hogue and Ford, we knew they were coming on strong, and now it's heads-up racing between them. And Hogue, who had a dream run going here in the past at Daytona until a big crash, wants to avenge that. Looking so good right now. But don't look back, or you're going to see Bryce Ford is bringing the heat. And Wienen hanging tough in third. Ford eating a lot of roost right now. And that's helped Hogue get away just a bit. A good shot to see the line choice. That's what Wienen was talking about. Oh, a mistake by Ford. Mistake by Ford, and here comes the cavalry. Wienen all over him now. And I think it's Rastrelli there as well. Pressure him. That's the line. To Wienen. Oh, and Ford has stopped. Ford has gone down. Ford just crashed. Wienen and Rastrelli are all sorts of hung up behind him. And now there's steam coming out of Rastrelli's engine. He's under fire from Lindquist. Going to make a pass. And with all this action, Hogue has set sail up front. And will Rastrelli even be able to get to the finish? Blair Miller under attack from Ford. Gives a look over to make sure he has room to go through. This is all a battle for gate picks in the main. And if you're cheering for Hogue, well, he's going to have a great gate pick. This is only half the field. We'll have more racing after this. Heat 2. Look at Ford. Wow. He gets around Rastrelli, but you have to wonder, is Rastrelli nursing that machine home? Ford looks over. Yeah, Ford gets away. I'm not sure that Rastrelli has everything, or if he's just trying to survive now. He looked down. He definitely knows, as he's under pressure from Kevin Saar. Hogue and Wienen all alone now. Good to see Hogue finding his stride. He has always had the talent, and now the last few seasons really putting it together, and he serves notice. He's a contender this year, winning Heat 1 over Wienen and Lindquist. Let's check in with Brandon.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I just knew that the whole shot was going to matter the most for that, so they did some track prep right before we went out, and my whole mindset that time was just get the start and come out clean. So far, good start to the day.
We'll see who else will be able to say that as we get ready for Heat 2, the onboard with Hetrick. Here we go. Oh, someone jumped, clinched, and got stuck in the gate. Hetrick, a great start. I think that might be Janusa trying to get to second place behind him. You see how tight this course gets in certain sections, and they're really starting to bunch up to make moves, and look at Hetrick go. Oh, and a stack up there. That's Mason Jackson, the rookie. He got punted and flipped. That's those tight sections we're talking about, funneling down to one line. Hetrick on the Phoenix Racing Yamaha, getting away as expected. Give him a start. It could be the end of it. There's Janusa in second. Wesley Wolf up to third. Then you had that battle behind, with Jackson getting the short end of the stick. I believe it might be Zach Decker who has slid into the fourth place spot. And that speed is no joke. As you see, Jackson is still stuck on the track. There's Wolf, third, Janusa, second. Boy, this field has really stretched out early. But don't worry, we'll take the group from Heat 1 and match them up with these boys for the main. Hetrick, originally out of Pennsylvania, now calls Mount Ola, North Carolina home. That's just north of Charlotte, and that's to be nearby the Phoenix Racing Team, which is headquartered in North Carolina. And now one lap to go for the dominant name in this series. And as I mentioned earlier in the show, Daytona has taken many a title away from him in the past. If he can get this race dialed, could be a long season for everyone else. There's Janusa. Checkered flag in sight. No surprises, Joel Hetrick. Pole shot, checkers for Heat 2. There's Janusa. Hetrick with some high fives. Those are the results. Chambers fifth. Here's the winner.
Felt good, got the whole shot, and about midway through, I had a brake issue, lost my rears, which out there the rears were crucial, so had to back it down a little bit, made a couple mistakes based on the no rear brakes. Other than that, was able to hold the win off, felt really good, and give me a good gate pick going into the main event, which I'm pretty pumped about.
Well, how about that? Little adversity there. We're going to double stack it. The talent from both heat races will meet in the main event next. ATV Motocross is brought to you by Kenda Tires, by Rocky Mountain ATV MC, and by RP Race Performance. World Center of Racing at Daytona. Lots of history and tradition here. We're going to fast forward to the future. Young riders in the pro sport division. Watch out for the early crashes. And also great racing early on. Tyler Marlin out of New Jersey. Joey Norris battling it out. And then watch this action here. Norris and Marlin battling. And over the falls they go. So Norris in comeback mode, but he would be aided by more crashes and mistakes for everyone else as the track got rougher. Jane Launderville running up front. Gonna watch Cale Deal coming up here. He's in a battle and then goes down. And that's just gonna help Norris move further up on the 900. This is wild racing. Yeah. And then eventually multiple machines stuck in the same part. You know, this track is getting rough. When it was all said and done, Norris had emerged with the win over Launderville and Heath. Can I say it? Hurricane Hannah finishing third. That's the future of the sport right there. The past for the dirt bike set with the Daytona Vintage Supercross. Shout out to Carson Brown. He'll race anything. He will go fast and jump anything. Got a lot of old two-strokes. Not only cool to see those bikes on the track, but great displays in the pits, which you can check out while the ATV pros get ready for their main event. And if that pro sport race is any indication, this track has gotten very rough. And with all those laps logged, it leads to this. Stands are packed for the opening points paying race of 2024. Here we go, Zach Decker with the onboard. Main event at Daytona is underway. Bad news, boys. Hetrick has the whole shot. Now it's going to be up to Ford and the rest of the field behind him to try to... Oh, and Decker is down. There you see that shot from the back. Decker gets flipped. But like I was saying, any of these boys with a goal of holding back Hetrick, well, they weren't able to do it at the start, and he is already getting away. And you can see how muddy this racetrack has been. That often leads to more of a one-line situation, and he's going to try to run and hide. Oh, poor Zach Decker still stuck there in the second turn. Hetrick on the gas hard. Ford. Janusa. I think it's Hogue, Wolf, and Wienen next. Give you the onboard and the overhead on the leader. And there you see the gap. And Ford's doing his job. He has pulled away a bit from Janusa and Hogue. Oh, there you see a good example of how rough this track is. Much worse than it was in the heat. Although these pro riders able to tackle it with a little less incident than the pro sport. And Rastrelli battling with Saar. That's not where they want to be, outside of the top 5. Never know at the opener, everyone guessing who's stepped up the game, who has not put in the work, who has. I don't think there was much mystery around Hetrick, but it will, the pecking order behind him will be interesting to see. As I teased in that heat race, Wienen had been the primary challenger with Hetrick for years, but riders like Ford, Hogue really starting to step up. Janusa still has some great years left in him. Hetrick on rails, so let's follow that battle for third between Hogue and Janusa. Oh, Mason Jackson, the rookie, getting it hung up. Oh, there you see what that looked like as we hit the beach sand. Decker had already had his problems. Here's Hogue. Nick Janusa pulling away just a tad now. Oh, and Sar has gone down. Oh! Chad Wienen, a huge ride. That was a scary one. Stay with us. ATV Motocross is brought to you by Kenda Tires, by Rocky Mountain ATVMC.com, and by RP Race Performance. Battle is on here at Daytona. This track has claimed quite a few machines and riders. Nick Janusa, Brandon Hogue still battling for third. Ford second. Hetrick still out front. And there's Wienen. Man, you hope the big man from Galena, Illinois is okay, or relatively okay. Clearly not getting back into this race. Here's Hogue working through traffic now. Hogue and Janusa, they've swapped the positions. Ford in second, eating some roost. And Decker picking himself up off the deck. Started this race about a lap down. Last lap at Daytona. Well, we said it. This track has not been kind to Hetrick many times in the past. It appears lately he's turned his luck here around and now a half a lap away from stamping that. And the mind wanders with this type of performance. How good can Hetrick be through the bulk of the championship? Although we said that last year and he went flipping at round 2. So the challenge, as always, one race at a time to build for the title. But Joel Hetrick starting to move toward the Mount Rushmore as one of the best ever in the game, and he wins Daytona. Well, that was uneventful for him. And as they say, a boring race is good for someone. And in this case, that someone's Hetrick. Ford and Hogue keep the youth movement alive. Podium riders today ahead of Janusa and Wolf. That's the top 10 results. There's the podium. Let's talk to the favorites.
Yeah, man, it was a great day out here. Had a good heat race, got a win there, and the main event was pretty gnarly. We got into lappers, and man, it was just pure chaos, but been training so hard this off-season, so yeah, it feels good to start the year with a podium, and man, I'm looking forward to going to Texas here shortly and see what we do outdoors.
Woo, we did it. Awesome race. I ended up second. I'm pumped to get out of here with a second place. It really means a lot to me. The off-season was great. Today had its ups and downs, but we made it count when we needed to. Just really pumped to end with a second here. Last year I got third, so just making progress, and that's all I can ask for. So super excited on the day, and thank you so much to everybody who makes this possible.
Launched out of the start, grabbed it, led every lap, and felt really good. I mean, it was pretty crazy about halfway through when we got into the lappers and the track started to deteriorate really bad. Focusing ahead and trying not to make any mistakes. I did really good at that. Made a couple, but was able to capitalize on those and keep my distance. Just ran a good race, man, and I'm so happy to be up front starting the 24 season at Daytona again. You never know what could happen here, so a win, and I'm super happy to be here.
Let's recap it for you. Main event, pole shot for Hetrick. Ford right behind him. A little bit of chaos here. Zach Decker got halfway between the two different lines and then flipped over. Great battles behind Hetrick. A couple riders getting hung up. Ford was all alone in second. The good battle, as you see Ford through there, was between Janusa and Hogue for third. Big crash. Hate to see that for Chad Wienen, who was banged up last year at times as well. And he used to dominate this race. But Daytona can strike at any time. Striking on the podium with the champagne, though, it's Ford, Hogue, and Hetrick. Folks, we're off to Underground in Texas for round 2. We'll see you next week.